Hey everybody, welcome back to the video. Wraith here, and we're gonna be going over a issue I've been running into with my S10. Now this is a '98 S10 ZR2, so it has four-wheel drive, and we're gonna be going over this number 15 10 amp fuse for four-wheel drive. Now, when this fuse blows, you are pretty much gonna notice that your four-wheel drive actuator light here, you're going to notice that it's going to be pretty much non-functional. The light will go out and you won't have access to four-wheel drive. Now, you may scratch your head and be like, oh, okay, well, that was weird. Continue driving on. And then you may stop somewhere at a gas station, fill up the tank, or go in and get a cheeseburger or something like that. And you come out and you start your truck up, or your Blazer, and you notice that your fuel gauge, your temp gauge, and the battery light are on while the truck is running. And you're like, well, now what's going on? So believe it or not, number 15 has those gauges actually running to it, because that's pretty much the only thing I can come up with. It's gonna have those running to it throughout the wiring harness, some way, somehow. I've got the book, but I just can't find the actual wiring for number 15 from the IP, also known as the instrument panel fuse block here. So, of course, I already went ahead and pretty much fixed this issue, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So, at first, it was blowing the number 4 gauge fuse, and it was blowing number 15 10 amp fuse for four-wheel drive. Now I went through and I drove her for a couple days, and the light would keep blowing, and then after I'd stop, shut it off, then those two gauges would be non-functional and the battery light would be on. Now I thought it may be the four-wheel drive actuator itself. I thought that perhaps this, because it's a common issue where these like to go bad. I had to replace one on my old S10. This is my second S10 ZR2. Overall they're pretty good trucks, but I'm going to show you exactly. Let's just cut the chit chat and get down exactly to what I did to fix this issue. So pretty much you go to your driver's side, right? So obviously you pull open your IP fuse block and you're going to look at it, locate number 15, get a test light, pull each one of the fuses if you don't have a test light, and look and visually verify that the fuse is intact. The contact points, they look pretty good, because believe it or not, even if the fuse, even if it's not blown, it can still not function properly if the contact points are corroded. So I went through each and every single one of these and identified the blown fuses and the fuses that were functional. And the only two that were blown were number 4 on gauges. Maybe this one. I don't know why I keep pointing there. Number 4 on gauges, for some reason, that only blew one time for me. And then this one repeatedly kept blowing. I probably replaced about 8 of them. And then finally I just stopped replacing them because I didn't want to, have it keep shorting out and having some kind of issue. And it would happen at random times. Usually I found that it would mostly happen after I drive the truck between 1 to 5 miles. It would just happen. And pretty much I was like, well, let me go check the fuses under the hood. So I went and checked the fuses under the hood. All of those were perfectly fine. Nothing wrong at all. And I was just so confused as to what it might be. But then I came across, some schematics and stuff, and pulling up diagrams online, and I came across the front diff. On the front diff here, let me show you. Go ahead and crawl under the truck here. I got my tools because I'm going to show you exactly what I did. Now, I've already got the skid plate off. Well, I don't have it actually, so never mind that. Of course, same thing with this skid plate. I examined the entire powertrain and I was trying to identify what the exact cause was. And I came across this connector right here. This is a 2-pin connector that goes to your four-wheel drive switch. This right here, it's literally a threaded sensor, and I unplugged this, drove it down the road, you know, because I didn't have access to four-wheel drive with this unplugged. And I was like, well, maybe it's, you know, maybe it's the harness. So, you know, I drove down the road with this unplugged to see if it was bad. And then I plugged it back in, and I was getting full-wheel drive power. So it wasn't the harness. Just this, for some reason, was causing a short, and it was blowing the fuses. So this is actually the old sensor. If you grab yourself a 7/8, or I want to say that's a 22 millimeter, something like that, and you remove this, this is actually, this was the problem for me. So, this is the old one. I have the new one here. You can go to AutoZone. They may not have it in stock, but they can order it for you, overnight it, and it is literally, still have the receipt on it. So here's obviously, this is the new part. You can get it at AutoZone and have it replaced for $8. Pop your connector on. There we go. And that's as simple as that. Little backstory. I had to put a transmission in this truck. And when we had the transmission installed, the vacuum line that goes at the top of the transfer case was put on, wasn't put on the correct, like the correct way. So they were mixed up, and I get down the road at about 60 to 70 miles an hour, and the front diff would actuate, and it would try to lock, and it would cause a grinding noise. And I had somebody else drive it. I rode passenger, and I was able to hear it from the kick plate, the kick panels for the passenger side, and that's how I knew it was the front diff. So, very, 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 very easy fix. You replace that sensor, and come inside, replace the fuse. And bam, just like that. I'll even do 4 low. And that's it. And that pretty much fixed my issue. Now, in terms of the front diff actuating itself with the vacuum lines, it's actually got a cable. Let me go ahead and break this down for you, show you. So you pop the hood, right? Come over, pop it again, prop the hood up, and then you come over here, right? Now, let's see if I can find it for you guys a little better here. All right, okay. Oh, nope, that's not it. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it is, okay. So right underneath, maybe a little different for you, underneath my radiator hose, there's this cable. It's got a little tube on it. And we follow that cable, come underneath the truck, and this cable runs to this sensor right here in the front diff. Crazy, right? You follow that up, keep following it, and where does it go? Underneath the oil cooler, keeps going up right into the battery tray. And it's got a little diaphragm there, right underneath the battery tray. Come up over here, right? Pull the battery, pull the tray out, and underneath it, see if I can get this in here. Well, it's hot, but because I was just driving it, and you'll see it right there. That's is about as far as I can get it. Actually, yeah, a little lower. That right there. The light's in the way, but yep. So you'll see it right down there. That where the cable goes, right onto the battery tray. And take a look at that and make sure that the hoses are all good. Now the other hose, don't get this confused because this is definitely not it. It's your breather tube for the front diff, which is, where is it? It's on top of the diff. Let me find it right here. Where I just had my hand on it. Yep, there we go. Breather tube goes to the top of the front diff, goes up driver's side. You can see, comes up driver's side. And it's got this little valve on here, a little check valve. Pretty much just to vent the case, just for when you go at altitude, especially if you drive in the mountains or if you live at a higher elevation than sea level. Just to pretty much vent it out. You know how I mentioned vacuum lines, right? So if you come underneath and find the transfer case, I've got a nice 2-inch little body lift, so it makes things nice. So you've got cables there. Move over a little more. So if you've got pretty much the same, almost the same switch on the transfer case. This is the back of it. And this is the drain right here. You come up here, move, reach my hand up. Come up here a little more. I think that's about as far as I can go. But check your vacuum lines on top of the transfer case. It should be like a little T-fitting looking thing. Definitely check that and make sure that's as it should be. I got a little leak here. That's nice. That should not be leaking. It's leaking the fluid out the transfer case. Which the transfer case, of course, it takes ATF. Same ATF that you would put in your transmission if you're running the 4060. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If you have any more questions related to the grinding, whining noise, please feel free to reach out in the comments. I can do my best to answer the questions. I haven't had every single symptom that anybody has, had. I haven't had them all, but I've had quite a few, especially after owning 2 of these. This one being the older one. I had a 99 or 98, which is what this is, and then I also had a 2002. So definitely make sure you check out the simple things, which even if you as silly as it may seem, just check it, because that's what I didn't do until the very end, and I almost spent a grip of money trying to put a front diff in. Thought it was something major, overstressed myself. Check the four-wheel drive switch first, unplug it, check your fuses, start with the simple and work your way up. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you definitely want to see more S10 videos, make sure you subscribe. You turn on your post notifications, because I'm looking to start doing some more videos more often. Right now I'm at like a 2-week basis posting videos. I'm gonna do a bunch of little videos on just like reviewing the truck itself, little gicks and gimmicks here and there, little things you can do to fix your truck and make it nice. We'll go over the ZR2 suspension, and we'll just pretty much just cover the 4.3 to 4L60 powertrain, and that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.